Hello, everybody. I welcome you all to Raytech Web Development Bootcamp. This is our first tutorial video, and in this video, we will be covering HTML syntax. When we say HTML syntax, what do we mean? HTML syntax is the standard way of writing HTML codes, just like any other language does. HTML also has its way that it is being written in. So without wasting much time, let's start business. So currently I'm in Visual Studio Code. That's the code editor we will be using throughout this program. So please, if you've not downloaded it, make sure you do so. Okay, so we simply start by creating a new file by pressing Ctrl plus N on our keyboard, and this pops up. So the language we are going to be writing is HTML. So simply click on select a language and then type in HTML, hit enter, and you're good to go. Okay, so when we say an HTML syntax, as I said, it is the standard way of writing HTML codes, and that is what we're going to be looking today. I'm going to be looking at today, sorry. Okay, so an HTML document is actually a bunch of elements that are put together to form the whole document. And when we say an element, this is how an element is written. An element, first of all, is made up of three main parts. You have the opening tag of the element, the closing tag of the element, and the whole lot of things that is between the opening tag and the closing tag. So those are the three main parts of an element. When we say a tag, what actually is a tag? A tag is basically a text enclosed by angle brackets. So let me show you how a tag is written. For this instance, it's an opening tag. I'm going to write. So the left angle bracket for the less than sign. The name of the element goes in there, and the right angle bracket. And as I said, an element contains an opening tag and a closing tag. So Visual Studio Code automatically adds the closing tag. And now the closing tag looks exactly like the opening tag. The only difference is that there is a slash before the name of the element in the closing tag, but in the opening tag, there is nothing like that. It is just the angle brackets and the name of the element. So this thing we have here is the opening tag, and this thing over here is the closing tag. Now let's look, and then in these tags, anything at all can go there. When I say anything, I mean depending on what you do, you can put a whole lot of stuff there. But let's look at more to that in the opening tag. An element may also be given an attribute depending on what you want to do. When we say an attribute, just as the name implies, it gives, or yeah, it specifies what it is about the element. It may be the style or anything at all you want to use. Yeah, that should I say describes the element. It's called the attribute, and that's how it's written. After the name of the element, a space is created. Places is very important. The attribute is not written together with the element. A space is created, and the attribute you want specified, and then that attribute, sorry, is set to a certain value, and the value is placed in quotes, just like you see here. And then one thing, there is no space between the equal to sign and the quotation mark here, and also there is no space between the equal to sign and the attributes. They are all written together. The only place where we create a space is between name of the elements and the attributes. That's where the space is. And then an element may also contain another element within it. In this case, that element within an element is called the child of the parent element. Let me illustrate that as well. So we are in this element. We may have another element, let's say our sub element, and then the tag is the same format, a sub element with an opening tag and a closing tag. And it may also have an attribute as well. So say attribute two, sorry, attribute two equal to another value two, say. And this sub element likewise can contain another element. And yeah, that's as I said, depending on what you want to do, an element may contain so many elements. And please, one thing I want you to take note of is that these words I'm using here, elements, sub elements, attributes, whatever I'm using here, are not used in real coding. The reason why I'm using them is because I'm just using them as representations for real stuff that we are going to be putting there. Yeah, so that's why I'm using this, not to put any real elements or real tag there to get you confused. And one other thing is that although an element may have an opening tag and a closing tag, what I want you to know is that not all elements have a closing tag. Some elements are self-closing, that they just have the opening tag and there is no closing tag. So this is where we'll be ending for today's video. Thank you very much for your time. And please, if you've not subscribed to the YouTube channel, make sure you do so as soon as possible. Thank you once again for your time. Bye bye.